Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. And today we're going to talk about how to sell books online, but specifically focusing on what your sales expectations, how much money you want to make, and what that it has as an impact to the book inventory, the number of books that you need to keep on hand and keep in your store. So how many books do I need to make a certain amount of money? So hope you enjoy it. If you hadn't subscribed, give me some comments. Look forward to hearing what your thoughts are and what your experience has been on inventory and meeting your sales goals. So with that, let's jump right in it. So the profits you make, the amount of money you make, obviously is going to depend on the types of books you sell and the profit margin on those books. But we can do a couple of math examples, and with that, maybe everybody that was watching just turned it off. But we can do some simple math examples to kind of give you a flavor for what type of inventory you're going to need if you want to do this book selling, side gigs, side hustle, job replacement, whatever your situation may be. Get you kind of tuned in to get those expectations, because I've had friends that have tried to sell things online on eBay, Amazon, whatever, and they'll maybe have 5 or 10 things. They'll put them out there, they get no sales. A month goes by, they get no sales, and they just give up. Well, the reality is they just don't have enough stuff out there to get a sale yet, and the things that they're selling aren't. Either there's a million of them, or it's a thin market looking for it. So let's use the math example of, let's say you want to make $100 a week selling used books. All right, that's about $5,000 a year, $5,200 a year. If you say 52 weeks in a year, all right. If I'm making $20 profit on a book, all right, which is not hard to do with nonfiction books that are good hardback nonfiction, hard to find books, $20 a book profit, reasonable expectation, then I need to sell 5 books a week to make, with that profit margin, with that profit, to make my $100 a week, goal. So that means that I need to sell 260 books a year. Now, if what I'm selling is only giving me $10 a book profit, then to make that $100 a week, I now have to sell 10 books, which means I have to sell 520 books a year. So you can see in that $10 to $20 profit range, yearly you're going to need 250 to 500 books, just rounding it off to good numbers. If you're kind of in between, say $15 a book, you're going to be around, you're going to be selling 300 to 350 books a year to make that $100 a week. So you can scale that. If you want to make $200 a week, you can scale that. And so you can do the math that way. But just to get your expectation of what you can make off of a certain inventory, it's a very reasonable math problem. And so that inventory holds to make about $100 a week for reasonably priced books, not too thin, not too expensive. You're going to need between 250 and 500 books inventory to do that. Now, an interesting way to think about this is through something called sales conversion rate. So on eBay, you can get all kinds of statistics. You can get impression rates, click-through rates, all these other things. But the one that means the most to me is the sales conversion rate, and that's the number of items sold divided by the views. So if you Google sales conversion rate eBay, it'll tell you that the average rate right now, this is April 2021, is about 2 to 3%. I find that my sales conversion rate's higher, about 5%. That makes sense to me that mine would be higher than average, because I'm selling, specific books, hard to find books, nonfiction books. So if somebody, here's one I just have, this racing book, this Hurtabice. There's probably 99.9% of the people in the world have never even heard of this guy. But one guy's going to search for this. Maybe a thin market. This book may be set on my shelf for 6 months, but then that right person's going to come along and want this. And if they search on it and they find it on my page, they're probably going to go ahead and buy it if my price is right. So I think that's why my sales conversion rate is higher than what I found as a stated average of 5%. But let's say you have a 500 book inventory, and everything in my inventory gets a page click. Every book, I have 500 books out there, every one of them gets a page click. if I have a 5% sales conversion rate, that means I sold 25 books. All right. This is monthly statistics, by the way. 5% monthly statistic for sales conversion rate. So if I have 500 in my inventory and I have a monthly 5% sales conversion rate, I just sold 25 books. 12 months, that's 300 books a year. Again, we're back into that 250 to 500 book range. So empirically, I find in my stores, I typically keep 400 to 500 books listed on my eBay store. I usually sell a book a day, but interestingly, the most I have ever sold in the last year is I sold 4 books in one day. I had lots of days with 1, lots of days with 2, some days with 3. The most I sold in a single day were 4 books. So that, again, puts you into selling in that 5 to 10 books a week time frame times 50, 52 weeks. You're back into that 250 to 500 book range. So my advice for you, it's a numbers game, folks. If you want to sell, you can't just have books. You can't just have 1 or 2. You can't just have 10. Work on your inventory. Get your inventory up to 250, 300 books, 400 books, 500 books. Then you'll start selling, anywhere from 10 to 20 books a week, and your numbers will get there. Especially if you're selling things that you're getting average prices that are running in that $10 to $20 profit range. You'll get to that $100, $200 a week profit, and that's fun when you turn things into treasure, right? Turn something that somebody else didn't want. You found it at a thrift store, you found it at a garage sale, you found it at a library bookstore for 50 cents, $1, and you turned it into 20 or 30 bucks after fees. You got your profit, 20 bucks. So that's it. That's my advice. If you're getting started with this, work your way up. You got to start somewhere. Just start. Get 10, get 20, get 100, get 200. But I think if you shoot for that, get your sales expectations. If you shoot for that, get into that 3, 4, 500 book range, you'll have some great success selling online, selling used books. So, hey, I look forward to what you think about it. Hey, if you're a big seller, you're probably, if you're trying to make a lot more, you're probably going to need 10 or 20,000 books. This is, for the small time guys, so to help somebody getting started, get going. But hope you found it useful. Look forward to your comments, subscribe, and hey, keep trying to find that treasure, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.